Why don't you start off? We don't do introductions, but since you're here and you were telling us a story before,
Sure.
why don't you introduce yourself and then let everyone know, like, or let us know why you got into trading and forex.
Okay. You want to know who I am first of all?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Well, my name is Dee Marie Elliott. I am an investor and also a mentor to help people escape the rat race and learn to make their money work for them ultimately. How I pretty much got into it stems from understanding that you know about Robert Kiyosaki, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, heard of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah.
Okay. So, he's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And in Rich Dad Poor Dad, he talks about the cash flow quadrant. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Okay. So, with the cash flow quadrant, we have the majority of the population in one sector of the quadrant, which are the employees. Okay. So, as an employee, ultimately, you have a job. Right?
Yep.
And then on the next side, so we talk about the left side of the quadrant, you've got the employees, you have a job. Then you have the self-employed. You own a job. You have no leverage. Both as an employee, as self-employed, you have no leverage. You're working for money. And being self-employed, you are the CEO, you are the admin, you are the HR, you are all of that. So if you get sick or anything like that, you don't have any income coming in. There's no residual income, there's no passive income. You're not working, there's no cash flow coming in. Okay, so we move
like a plumber, for instance.
Well,
for example, who's a self-employed, maybe like a plumber or a
right.
labourer or something like
there's
that.
no work, there's no money.
Yeah, okay.
You're not working, there's no money. So very minimal percentage now are on the right hand side of the quadrant. So now where we have the business owners, okay, where you are now a owner of a system,
Right.
because now you have some leverage and you have people who are working for you. Yeah. And then 1% of the population are in the investors part of the quadrant.
Right.
So now you have passive income.
Right.
You're making your money work for you.
Like a Rishi Sunak.
Basically.
Okay.
There you go.
I see.
Right. So you asked me how I got into it. I was an employee.
Right.
I was in teaching for over a number of years. I taught in primary and secondary and college.
Okay.
I left teaching officially in 2020. We know 2020
Pandemic,
was the great reset.
Right.
And depending on the mindsets of people, a lot of people are still recovering from the effects of that. All you've got to do is just walk around the streets of London. You see a number of businesses that have closed because they didn't survive.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have the other people that made that time work for them. So while I was working from home, checking in with my students, what often happened was I would call the parents to check on my students, and the parents were very much grateful that I had called them to say, "Oh, we're so glad that you called," and were continually downloading on me. It practically became a counseling session.
Yeah.
Right.
So at that point, I started to think to myself, well, you could actually do this for yourself.
Right.
And then I actually started to think, am I going to go back to work in September? Because remember, we went in lockdown from March. Then fast forward, we had a fantastic summer that year, one of the best summers we had. And then September, I did go back to work. And when I went back to work, I was like, no, I don't think I can do this. Where you have a rectangular box surrounded with hazard tape and a class of children, and supposed to stand there and teach towards. Not conducive for me. Okay, so I'll say fast forward, I decided to hand in my notice while I had started my coaching business. So I'd gone from being employee to now self-employed. So I was coaching people with parents, and parents who had autistic children.
Okay.
Yeah, because I also have an autistic son. Okay. And seeing that there were people that needed that, particularly in that time of uncertainty. Okay. Which you know, I was really enjoying, but also it's being in a domain that I'd never been in. I'd never been self-employed. I never run a business for myself. I never knew anything. I was just learning as I was going along. And also learning as I'm going along that if you have no clients, there is no money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So you went from the first quadrant to the second on the left-hand side, essentially.
Yeah, so I went from the employee quadrant to the self-employed quadrant. Fast forward now, also being a carer for my parents. Both of my parents are elderly, and my dad was like very ill. He passed in 2023, November 2023, which of course had a heavy impact.
Yeah.
And
sorry for that.
Yeah, you know, may his soul rest in peace. His lessons, his legacy lives on.
Of course.
There are lessons that, isn't it funny that when things, listen, because I know that you guys are young men as well.
Right.
So let me say to you now, there's things that your parents say to you that probably go in one ear and out the next. Yes or yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Value those words. Value their instruction. Value their wisdom, because everything that they are telling you is what they are telling you because they have lived it, and they don't want you to experience things that they have experienced. They get on our nerves, they grate on us.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's words of wisdom, pearls of wisdom. Embrace those. Okay, I just had to say that.
Yeah.
And I say that because since my dad passed, there are things that he used to say to me from when I was a little girl. I was like, oh,
That's what you meant.
I understand. I understand that. I get it now. Like, yeah. We'll get into that a bit more later. But okay, so Daddy passing, and we buried him the beginning of 2024. And of course, my parents were married for over 56 years. So my mum, you know, we were all finding a new way to navigate life.
Of course.
Sorry if I hit the mic.
That's fine.
And one thing about my mum, she's always been a bit of a worrier. She's a faith-driven woman, but she has a worry streak, whether she tells you she doesn't worry or not. So a concern continually for her was finances.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, okay, well, being self-employed, like I said, if you've got clients, fantastic, great. You got the cash coming in, okay. But it's also time consuming. You remember, you have no leverage. Then I started to think about other ways that I can generate an income. How can I also generate an income in a way that is not so gives me more time freedom?
Yeah.
Okay. As well as location freedom.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm able to generate an income wherever I am in the world, comes what may. And it was we buried my dad on the Friday, the 5th of January. And on the Sunday, I was watching Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here. Right. But I do love watching him as well. Absolutely. Fantastic. And he was interviewing, I can't remember who was interviewing at the time, but he was talking about investing in financial literacy. And then it kind of sparked something in me to say, like, you know, like when you're thinking about something, you ruminate on something, and then you get a message presented to you. It's just like, this is what you are looking for.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then I was watching that and I was taking notes and everything. And then after I watched that, I opened my Instagram. And there was a lady whose event I had attended some years ago. But one of her highlights was investing. I was like, oh, this is crazy. So it was just like the synchronicity. And then looked into, you know, finding out more about how she was investing and so. And the rest was history.
Oh, okay.
The rest was history. I found my way into forex. Something that had always that I'd always seen, but always thought that that's a bit too complex for me. I don't know what those bars, those charts, those lines mean.
Yeah, and all those adverts that just pop up at the start of YouTube videos.
Right.
Did you see all those things? It's like, oh, you want to escape the 9-to-5 rat race? Come and learn how to trade with me. And
not initially, no.
Oh,
no,
okay.
but I knew people that traded.
Yeah.
And I knew, and then I'll just see a lot of information to do with forex. It's not so much escape the rat race and stuff, because one of the things is this, as far as the cash flow quadrant, I've never enjoyed being an employee.
I don't think anyone has, though.
Some people do.
I think more people do it out of necessity rather than love.
True. Because some people do it out of necessity rather than love, but there are some that are well paid and they don't enjoy their job. And there are those that are well paid and they enjoy their job. So I said everything is not for everybody. So entrepreneurship is not for everybody, just like being in employment is not for everybody.
Everyone has different skill sets, essentially.
Yeah.
And hobbies and interests.
Absolutely. But for me, I know that I can't comprehend how somebody could be in a mundane job for 20.
That's what I was saying to him. Like, there are people who've been in an Amazon warehouse for 30 years or an Uber driver for 50 years. And
it's ludicrous. But as you said, they do it. Why? Not necessarily because it's like a labor of love. They do it because they got bills to pay. And they don't have another level of thinking to understand that there is actually another way. They feel enslaved to do that work. You know? So.
But I want to cut you off there just a sec. Sure. I want to go a little bit deeper into how you actually got into forex.
Right.
But before I ask that, I want to ask something else you spoke about.
Yeah.
I've never read these kind of books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and there's a bunch of others. I think Atomic Habits, like people call them.
I'm reading that right now again.
Yeah, people or 48 Laws of Power. People call them self-help books. So getting more and more popular nowadays. So I've never personally read those kind of things.
Okay.
But you brought up Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've never read before for sure.
Okay.
You mentioned 4 quadrants.
Yes.
I want to ask you, from the first quadrant to the second quadrant, employment to self-employment.
Yes.
Is that an upgrade?
To a degree.
Okay.
To a degree, yes. Because, and it depends on your mindset as well, because it's easy to go to a job and work your 9 to 5, knowing that you're going to get wages at the end of the month. Go home, have your dinner, do whatever your evening routine is. Probably people sit down and burn their brain cells and Netflix and chill and all of that. And then get up and just repeat the cycle.
It's a circular system, isn't it?
Yeah, they're stuck in that routine, and that's all they know, and that's all they choose to know, because that's all that they feel that they can aspire to. Becoming self-employed is a step up because you are responsible for you. There is no boss hanging over your head, making sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. You are in control of the system that you put in place in order to make your business, service, product work.
Yeah.
Right? However, the hours are also on you. You're going to have to put in a number of hours in order to make whatever it is that your product or service is work and to generate sales or bring in an income.
There's no clock off, essentially. That's the trade-off. With 9 to 5, you can at least, come home and be away from your job. But
that's why it's easier.
Employment,
That's why it's easier, depending on what level of work you're doing as well. Because I know that there's some people that's employment and it's just, they're just burnt out and they're exhausted. But they don't, once they leave work and go home, they're shut off from work. Self-employed.
Because they don't own the work.
They don't, you own a job.
Whereas if you own the work you do, you can always bring that home, I guess. So if you're a plumber or electrician or something like that.
Or ex-teacher who used to bring their work home with them.
Yeah. But I guess if you are that self-employed person, so I'm thinking of maybe like traders, laborers, for example, even
tutors
like your nail tech, your tutor,
barbers.
You have to be thinking on the weekend, have I got people for Monday to Friday? Have I got people for next weekend? Whereas I guess if you're that school teacher, the school's always going to be there.
Yeah.
The business is always going to be there. I'd say, just before I get you back into how you got into Forex, I assume everything exists on a spectrum.
Yes.
I think people choose the traditional method of 9 to 5. Firstly, because they're working on old information, but secondly, they see it as a means of security. Because I guess they assume that, you know, having a regular job, whether it be in Canary Wharf as a banker or this as a plumber or whatever, I suspect they think that always provides you security, that you know you'll get this income each month. There's no question it.
Yeah, it's easier to plan ahead and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. But then I guess we all looked at, you mentioned 2020 pandemic.
Yes.
Although that is a freak event, you're not going to assume there's going to be another pandemic next week.
No.
But there are financial crashes, there are recessions, there are this, there are that. There's
Yes.
competition in the market.
Yes.
I think it does provide you more security than those other things, than say entrepreneurship.
Okay.
But there is no security in general. But I think I have to admit that that job, 9 to 5, the job, will provide you more security generally than all those other riskier options. But there is no security.
There's no overall
There's
security.
no blanket
No
security.
job is 100% secure.
No, because if you think about going back to, say, 2020 then, which is like a, say, freak of nature event,
Yeah.
people who thought their jobs offered them security became entrepreneurs
Yeah.
because they lost their jobs. You heard me talking about earlier about the number of businesses that didn't make it through 2020. You just got shutters down now and tumbleweeds rolling down the street. You know?
It's the reality of it, yeah.
So again, when I go back to it being a level of mindset, and I need people to understand, first of all, I'm not rubbishing anybody that has a 9 to 5. That is not what I'm here to do, because I understand that, in the words of Elle Nightingale, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So that is to say, if you are doing something which you are driven about, what you are driven to do, which you are born to do, if you are a mother and you are raising your children, you are a stay-at-home mother and you're raising your children to the best of your ability because that's what you want to do, that's success for you. If you are a nurse and you've invested your number of years to be in nursing and you are serving people because that's what you want to do and that's what you feel called for, I'm also a believer of divine purpose, that is your success. You see? So when it comes to this whatever path that you choose to take, I understand that I never planned in a million years to be in forex. But it was something that life events led me towards it and caused me to realize that it was something that I needed that I never even knew. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I say that anybody that gets into trading, and I will give you some more insight into how I got into it as well. But I will say this. A lot of people think you're going to get into trading. Yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire. What? I'm going to make what? I'm going to be a millionaire. Yeah, man, what? Yeah. Don't get into forex. If that is your level of thinking, don't bother. Because what the trading on the forex market requires of you is discipline. It requires patience. And I will tell you, once you get into it and you get serious, the markets will teach you about yourself. I promise you that.
Fair enough.
It's more of a mental game than anything, isn't it?
What? 90% psychology, 10% skill. Now, it's a high value skill,
Of course.
but 90% psychology. Because people will go into forex blindly, like I said, thinking, woohoo, $6.7 trillion market. Yeah, I want peace. Everybody wants a piece. But if you go in there mindlessly, recklessly, you're going to blow your account and send yourself into deep, dark depression. Facts.
Okay.
There's leverage as well, which you can tell us about that.
Of course.
But,
okay, well, as
but
far
before
as...
before you say anything, I just want to make sure that I have said this in the air before I forget it.
Sure.
You've reminded me of someone called Gary Stevenson.
Okay.
I think
Yes.
that the sound. I think you know who I'm on about.
Right. Yeah.
So just so later on, I think I want to tap in a bit on that because you mentioned about discipline and markets, and I think he's mentioned the sort of case study that I want to bring up.
Right.
But since we're going in that direction, why don't you tell us more mechanistically how you like got into forex?
I will. Okay. All right. So what it is, I got into, like I said, a lady I knew, she was investing, and I found that there was a platform that she was affiliated with, and where they offered forex university.
Right.
So
Okay.
and also offered copy trading.
What's
So
copy trading?
So copy trading is basically where you have, as you spoke about leverage earlier on,
Right.
where you have the expert traders who have been in the financial markets for over 10, 15 years, studying the markets, doing their fundamental analysis, their technical analysis, and sharing their trades with beginner traders.
Oh, is that the signals thing that I've heard?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So they just basically say, buy
This
this,
trade I've made.
buy this,
Okay.
sell this. You put in the numbers. You open your MetaTrader 5, you put in your take profit, you put in your stop loss. They tell you when to enter the trade. Buy, sell. You just follow that process.
Okay. So you came across these people.
Yes.
Okay. And then what did that look like? Because I'm assuming you're a newbie.
And also, how
Absolutely.
did you come across these people?
Yeah, I did. I told you how I came across it. It was just like
someone she saw, yeah.
Yeah. So, where I found that people I knew were affiliated with this platform that offered the Forex University. They also offered the Crypto University as well, because people don't realize that some people don't realize that you can trade on crypto as well as invest in crypto. There's a difference.
Yeah, trading investing is different. Long term, short term.
But not a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So with that being said, and was introduced to the platform, I started using the Forex University, which was fundamentally like bite-sized lessons for you to learn from a complete beginner. Yeah. While you are also benefiting from the leverage of the expert traders who are giving you the signals, the trade signals and ideas.
But okay, are those things legitimate? Because nowadays, when you're scrolling through Instagram, I came across some property guy in London. It's like everyone's selling a method or a course or join this group chat and I'll teach you this, that, and other.
I will
so
say
many clones of that. Yeah.
You have to of course have discretion, and you have to be wise, because of course there are a lot of fraudulent,
not even necessarily
individuals.
scamming people that are selling people a dream. Or nowadays they'll say, the question is, okay, you've made millions in trading.
Right.
Why do you need to make this group where you teach people? Are you making money from the group, or have you made money from that kind of thing?
I see what you're saying.
Or very, like I said, scammers for it. But there seems to be so much of this kind of thing going wrong. How did you feel coming into that? How did you feel like it was legitimate kind of thing?
I guess from the results that I had seen, and one thing that I, again, a firm believer of, if something doesn't feel right, it's usually not.
Yeah, you trust your intuition essentially. Yeah.
Remember, your gut instincts is your internal GPS. That's your gut GPS right there. When it's just that, you shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
Don't go down that road. Don't do this. Don't talk to that person. It's for me. I don't know, but that's how it works for me. So, and the fact that the platform is international and have numbers of people around the world.
MetaTrader 5 that you're on about? Or?
No, MetaTrader 5 is what we use to place the trades.
Oh, okay.
So what we use to place the trades, but the platform that we're affiliated with, because ultimately I got into the Forex side, into the trading, but I didn't realize that there was another side as well. So when you're talking about there's a lot of people that's out there, they're selling different things. Everybody has different intentions.
Right.
Now, the platform that I am affiliated with is solely to help people understand that Forex can be for you. I'm not saying it's for everybody.
Is this a trading university or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
It can be for you. So you can be because right now we have people in our community who are investment bankers, who are solicitors.
Really?
Yes.
Somebody would leave investment banking to trade in.
Yes. Why? Why would they do that?
I would assume, coming from our background, investment banking is like the
top of the top, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's out here dogfighting to get into.
I think it's because it's from job into money.
But
working
investment
for you.
banking is one hell of a job, though.
Right.
But it's a job, isn't it?
Right. And it's top of the top. Okay.
But some people's
yeah,
job
yeah.
is doing better. I don't think it's automatically entrepreneurial job. I think some people's job pays better than some people's entrepreneur. Does it not? And then I'd assume investment banking is one of those jobs.
But it's the lifestyle as well.
Remember, I said earlier, some people get paid well, but they don't necessarily enjoy their job. Some
And some
people
people don't
get
like
paid
being
well
ordered, yeah.
and they enjoy their job. And when we're talking about having the level of having leverage of your time, being in a high demand position, you're working around from investment banking 8 a.m. to
12 hours.
11 p.m.
Not even 12 hours, 14 hours.
Family life, family quality of life, slim
Yeah.
to none. If you've got a wife or husband and children,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
it's like
taxing on a lot of your time.
it's in a simple term, a gold-plated prison.
There you go. So that's why I said, I keep on saying about the people regardless of how well you are paid in your job, does it give you time freedom?
Yeah.
Does it give you location freedom?
I value time as an asset more than money.
Because time is a precious commodity that you can never get back.
Yeah.
Money can always be made back.
There you go.
Fair enough.
So you have to understand that, and why I made reference to my dad. And when your parents say things to you, my dad was a stickler for time. And if you were to say, okay, yeah, Dad, I'm going to come and see you at 10 o'clock. Do not make 10:05 appear on that clock. Because the dirty look that you would get from my dad, and will tell you that I'm Jamaican heritage. My parents are Jamaican. So but I would break into the patois, but I might not do that because
No, go on.
for the sake of
No,
your,
do it.
for the sake of,
Speak
No,
freely.
we want to do it. We
no,
want
no,
to hear it.
freely.
oh no, respect time. No time. He was very, 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 very much a stickler for time. Respected time. He was very punctual with my dad. That's why my mum and my dad are polar opposites. If they had to be an event for 7 p.m. in the evening, my dad would be ready by 4:45.
Yeah.
And my mum would be ready at 6:55. But their dynamic work. They were married for over 56 years.
Did you always wear was he wearing a suit as well? Very smartly dressed, I imagine.
Daddy was a styler. Daddy was styler, yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah,
So,
that generation took a lot of pride in smart dressing, yeah.
Of course, down to where even when it comes to being like, I'm the last of four. So even when it comes to, as a girl, trying to leave the house in clothes that were not really satisfactory to my dad's eye,
Yeah.
that was never gonna happen.
Fair enough.
So pride.
So I see where you get that mentality from. So you've come into this community.
Yes.
They're teaching you. You're
Yes.
getting the signals from the people that have the experience.
Yes.
And some of these people even come from industries where they would have made money already, and they've come into this, and it's showing you that forex can be the way for you. Were you making money? What was it looking like to you? Because I'm assuming you just left your teaching job and you've come across this new thing, and you've been doing it for a while. What's your reaction
also the
and thoughts to it?
self-employment in the middle? Like, how was the
transition
income up and down? Yeah.
Well, so first of all, with the self-employed, so I was still self-employed while learning because we're trying to generate multiple streams of income. We're at 7 streams of income to accumulate wealth, right? So in the beginning, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, put this number here, put this number there. I'm like, okay. I've always been somebody that wants to understand why something and how why do I enter here and how do you know that that's going to go into a buy? How do you know that's going to go? How do you know? So I was in my head for a bit. And so initially I wasn't making money because it's not because the system didn't work. It's because I was impatient. Remember, I said it would teach you about yourself. Okay.
It's a direct mirror, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Big, huge reflection. For sure. Yeah. So the more that I develop the hunger to understand it while I'm still learning, because it's an earning while you're learning. You're taking the copy trades. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're making something. Yeah.
It's like
And
a part-time apprenticeship, isn't it?
That's a way of putting it, I guess.
Earn while you learn.
I guess. I don't know, you learn. Yeah, I guess
But
in a way.
You learn at
Yeah,
your
because you are an apprentice.
expertise level, though.
Yeah, because you are an apprentice. And even those that are the experts, they're still learning. There's always something to learn when it comes to the markets. And I would say nowhere near the guys that have been in for 10, 15 years and so.
Of course,
You know?
yeah.
So over time, was there frustration? Of course. Was there times I was just wanting to throw in the towel? Of course. But I know that it wasn't to do with the system. It was all to do with me. And understanding that Rome wasn't built in a day. You need to be patient. Yeah. And also understanding that when I've said to you about people that get into it and feel that, yeah, they're going to be the next, you know, Warren Buffett in a week, in a month, in 3 months even. You understand you get out what you put in anything. So consistency is always key. So realistically speaking, I think it took about 6 months consistently being diligent and vigilant and patient and developing the level of discipline before it started to really sink in and see profitability.
Okay. Before laymen that don't know anything about forex trading, we might know bits and pieces. I might know bullish, bearish market.
Yeah. Oh, you got a bit of info.
Things you hear, but we live in the information age anyway.
Sure, absolutely.
What are you actually doing? And what is a forex? What are you trading? What are you doing?
Okay, so basically you have to understand forex as the foreign exchange market for those who do not know.
Okay.
Right? So think of, have you been on holiday recently?
I have not. A while ago.
Okay.
I've been to Turkey a couple years ago.
Sure. Well, just think about when you go on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you take your Great British pounds. And you go to Turkey and you exchange your Great British pounds for the Turkish currency. Is it Turkish lira? I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's not like a common currency pair, hence why I'm like, okay. All right.
The fact that you know that, though. You got to pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, me.
They're not, no. Yeah, you're right.
It's a Turkish lira.
You may have seen it on your database.
Anyway. Anyway, so just think about when you exchange your Great British pound for your Turkish lira, that is exactly the foreign exchange market. It is one currency pair, one currency going against the other. So Great British pound against the US dollar. What is stronger at the time?
Yeah.
So depending on what is happening in the world, whatever is happening in the news, whatever political leader is speaking, will have an impact on the economy globally.
Yep.
So that's what will cause the markets to fluctuate, you know, or, you know, for one currency to be stronger than the other at the time. So you are just buying one currency against the other.
Okay, but thing is, when you hear that, because we're people have been told this, but we see it like, if I'm going on holiday and I'm swapping my Great British pounds for Turkish lira, I'm doing that so I can buy stuff in Turkey.
Right.
Why does that make you profit? Why is that even a business?
It's a profit because it's, like I said, it's, first of all, do you have a job right now?
Yeah.
Where does your wages get paid?
Where do they get paid into my bank account?
What bank do you use?
Let's say I use Barclays.
Okay. What do you think the banks do with your money?
I know there's some fractional reserve banking, so they loan it out to other people and stuff, something like that.
So what if I was to say to you that everybody that uses a bank, we all use banks, yes? That puts their money into any of these institutions, they are taking your money and putting it in the foreign exchange market.
Why?
So that they can make money back from the foreign exchange market. Meanwhile, from the goodness of their hearts, they are giving you a percentage of what your AER, your annual equivalent rate, for banking with them. What rate is that? That's about
1.5, 2%.
If that? And
Yeah, it's a
recently,
couple percent.
if you've noticed in your savings, most savings accounts, the interest rate's been reduced. They reduced that so that people, it's crazy. So people will want to, they make borrowing easier. Does that make sense?
Right.
Does that make sense? So where you have your, remember there's a difference between your AER and your APR.
What does that mean?
So AER is your annual equivalent rate. So that's the percentage of what you could potentially make on your savings at the end of the year with your said bank. The APR is your annual percentage rate. So if you've got a credit card, that's what you are paying back. So if it's a particularly higher credit card, like 35%, which is crazy, you're paying 35% on top of whatever your credit limit is on your credit card.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
But I get what you're saying there.
Are you saying how do we make money on the?
It's just not, because what people don't understand is even with banking or fractional reserve banking, because say you take banking, forget trading on forex for a second. People see a bank like, I just go and give my money to the bank to store it. How have they turned this into a business? How are they making billions? Why does Barclays Bank have a stock price? Why does Barclays Bank crumble and fail when all they were doing is just storing my money? What goes wrong? So if I'm going to Turkey and swapping out my money for Turkey, and of course, cool, the exchange rates can change. But how in any way is that a system in which you can make money?
Whatever's happening in the economy that time. So employment rates.
Right.
Anytime you hear, like I said, a political leader speak, or even when Donald Trump was talking about the tariffs, that had a tremendous impact on the foreign exchange market. Because why? He wants, if you have products that are not made in the USA, then he's charging you so that, so that they can bring it, making the USD stronger.
Yeah.
But he's also doing that ultimately because he wants you to make your products or have a factory for your products in the USA, because his ethos has always been, so he says, is to make America great again.
Yeah. So
it's strengthening the economy. So whatever happens, employment rates, war, so a particular number of events that happen whenever you watch the news on the daily basis, or even pay attention to Bloomberg, things like that. You might watch it and thinking, what's this got to do with anything?
Okay, fair enough. I get that.
It's got to do with the impact of the economy globally.
Well, okay, mentioning that, I'll bring up a recent British case study.
Okay.
And maybe you can explain it to us.
Okay, I'll try my best.
That's recording, by the way, right? Yeah, it's recording. Okay, you 100% sure? Okay. Yeah, just want to make sure no mishaps happen. But speaking of, that's fine. That's fine. We'll make use of it. Speaking of a British case study, for example.
Yep.
One of the last prime ministers, so not Rishi Sunak, not this one, Liz Truss, and her, is it Home Secretary, Kwasi Kwarteng?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the guy that holds the briefcase and announces the Chancellor, announces the budget. Yeah, that's correct. So you guys know better than me. They made an announcement that they were going to slash the upper rate of income tax in Britain, the 45% income tax above maybe £50,000. And that had a crippling effect on the British market. And it sank the pound to a record low, to the point I think £1 was almost about $1, which supposedly was the lowest it had never been in history.
Because the pound's always been stronger than the dollar.
So supposedly in history, this had never happened. For laymen, explain why that announcement caused that, and why that happens, and what was the consequence of that?
Yeah, what was the disaster?
Yeah, how did she mess up so poorly?
I guess one thing that we don't realize when it comes to government and politics is messing up so badly is that the country owes a lot of money. And the everyday Joe is not going to be privy to that information.
Right.
And I don't know if you're familiar with like Prime Minister's Questions on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right. Do you watch Prime Minister's Questions on a Wednesday?
You've seen some of the popular clips for certain ones.
Right.
Yeah,
so
they're getting grilled.
They're getting grilled.
Yeah. because it's like the policies.
By the opposition, usually by the opposition bench.
Right, and the policies and the white papers that they're making on the basis of running the country more effectively. So why that would have an impact on the GBP, Great British Pound, is whatever. I don't want to get too complex with it, but the best way that I can say it, anything that you're doing to affect the economy in a drastic way, such as slashing the income rates, it's going to have an impact on the population.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
But people would have thought, you're cutting the high income tax. You're allowing people to keep more of their money than it going to the government. Why would that sink the pound though?
So it's a good question. It's a good question. I'm not an economist.
Okay, all right.
One thing I'll say, I'm not an economist.
Right.
So to answer that in its entirety.
Fair enough.
Do you know? So like I said, I am someone who has, I would say I'm still definitely learning for sure and understanding why there will be particular events that have an impact, to a degree. So I don't want to give you information
that's fine.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
So, but do I understand that when there are particular events and it causes one currency to be stronger than the other? Yes. In its full entirety? No. Do you have to in order to generate an income from forex? Not particularly.
Okay.
And that's the point. Because as you heard me say earlier, there are people that feel like, just like myself, that thought that this is not for me. How am I going to be able to make an income from this? This is not for me. This is for those people over there. But it's understanding that it's something that you can learn as a complete beginner, something that you can come into as an absolute complete beginner and build as you go along and learn to fall in love with it like I did. So have I got a lot more to learn? Absolutely. But I love to learn.
No, okay, I understand that. But then on that note, you're talking about global political events and how they impact the markets. I brought up Gary Stevenson's earlier.
Yes.
I remember coming across one of his videos and he mentioned about how the pandemic affected the economy and things like that.
Yeah.
And he was I think he said he was a retail trader or something like that. I don't know exactly what that means. But what he did is he said one of the predictions that he made is that during COVID, during the pandemic, the price of gold is going to skyrocket or something like that. So he put in some sort of a bet that gold will skyrocket and he made a lot of money from that. And I think he also says something along the lines of, he realizes that the total amount of money circulating is going to be the same. If people aren't buying things, but the government's giving out loads of money, the money must be going somewhere. And he was able to deduce where the money was going. And he somehow used that to essentially get rich off of the environment
benefit
at the
from
time.
that.
How do you, when you hear things like that, well, these are more popular people that come out and admit to these things. What do you think of these things and how do you sort of use that to your own advantage as well?
Pay attention, first of all, because you won't have the level of knowledge that they have. Just like I said earlier, when you're looking at the charts, it's like, well, I want to understand why that happens. I want to understand how he knows. So it's the level of knowledge and understanding of how the world works, how the economy works, how golds and metals works, how indices work, how that has an impact. So for me, when I would just pay attention, one of the things when you're going into trading is there are specific sites that you will go to check for events. So to you Forex News, you check things like Forex Factory, My FX Book, which specifically tell you events which are going to have an impact on a particular currency pair. Yeah. So you will have, say, like yellow folders, orange folders, and red folders. The red folders indicate high impact news. Okay. Are we running out of time?
No, I was just checking myself.
which indicate a high impact news. So if you know that there's going to be a high impact news event that's going to be occurring at a particular time, you are going to stay away from that currency. Yeah, so that's where you can't, a way for you to safeguard your capital.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So you know when to sell, when to buy.
Well,
that,
fundamentally,
yeah.
because it's just like we are telling you this is happening this time. If you are in a trade on that particular currency pair at that time, then get out of that trade.
Okay. You say it in a negative way, which I find so you say it like, oh, if you're involved in this and maybe this policy is going to come out at that time, you're saying
No,
get
not
out.
always. Don't misunderstand me. No, because sometimes, okay. So like not
But
in
the only reason I ask is because often you're talking about forex, but often in things like stocks or take for example, even with the pandemic, what there was is what they're saying the politicians did, which is supposedly illegal in insider trading, is they knew that contracts for PPE were going to come along. So they got their friends and their cousins to make PPE companies. So they made benefit out of a negative situation.
Yes.
Does that not happen in forex?
Yeah, of course.
And
So
Trump did that as well. Didn't
right.
He?
So what I was gonna say is this: like last week, when when Trump was trying to get rid of Lisa Cook regarding the Federal Reserve, people that were in trades on Bitcoin,
Right.
and the minute he made that speech, lost a lot of money.
Okay.
On the flip side of that, Euro USD, so the euro against the American dollar,
Right.
skyrocketed. Because why? Because the euro went against the US, because as far as a politician getting involved with the Federal Reserve, is now the US questioning the safety of their economy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you've got political interference.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when that's when the euro just really went through the roof.
Okay.
So you will have a huge peak like that, and then until until the dust settles.
Okay. But then someone in your profession, your position, have you and can you, like you personally, do you have the insight to know, okay, here's an opportunity for me to be a shark and steal up the market? Have you been there?
Have I been there? It's like, I want to know. No, but I know a man that does.
Okay.
Leverage.
Fair enough.
Leverage trading. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Leverage.
Yeah, explain leverage. 'Cause I've heard a
Leverage
bit
is
about it.
so if you have somebody that has the knowledge, I'm basically riding on the back of their knowledge and using it to my benefit.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay, so leveraging is different because I would have thought when you hear that, when you're talking about stocks and things, they mean like stock options.
Right. So no, I'm not talking about I'm not talking
leverage
about
trading.
when I'm talking about leverage, I'm talking in the sense of you are. So when I said about being a business owner, you're leveraging the work of others. They're using your system that you have developed to make your business work for you.
Leverage is the tool.
Understand.
It is a tool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So actually, now that you just mentioned that, I was even thinking because 21st century, we've seen these images of trading, especially in America, these American firms. They have these people screaming at screens.
In the pit, they call it.
Yeah, and I think I saw this documentary where when they wanted to place trades amongst other traders or something, they'd have these hand signs where they could do these things and signal to somebody all the way over there.
Or paper and calling out numbers.
But
buy on this.
They'd have these very intricate signals, hand signs, but nowadays you see ads on social media for like an eToro or a Trading 212 or something like that.
Everything's digital.
So, but you use your own professional service that traders use. I've heard it before, MetaMinder 4 or something, right?
MetaTrader 4. MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. MetaTrader 5.
So I've heard of those things, but then as dumb as it sounds, can you go on an app like eToro or something and can you just trade?
I mean, you could, but you don't know what you're doing. So
is there what's the difference between that and saying MetaTrader 4 or 5?
Okay, so MetaTrader. I don't know much about eToro, to be fair. I've never used it.
Or
I have seen it advertised. So MetaTrader 5, I use to place my trades. And you have platforms, you have, or websites that you can go on, such as TradingView. For you to look at particular currency pairs, so you can look at the charts and see what is happening in the markets. Okay, and you can also use something such as my FX book and forex factory to see what's happening in the news, to be able to place the trades. The purpose of MetaTrader 5 is to place the trades.
Right.
You can see the trades. So hold on, I'll just show you for example.
Fair enough.
So you see MetaTrader 5 right now. You see the time, because we're in the evening now, there's not much movement.
Right.
So these are the currency pairs. Any ones that you do see moving right now, we're coming into the Asian market. The market is 24 hours.
Yeah.
24 hours a day, 5 days a week.
But that'll be for like who's awake at this time, kind of active starting.
Right.
Work. Yeah. Okay.
So we know that the most. So yeah. So all of these you can see like this is. I should have brought my glasses. Right. So crypto is 24/7.
Yeah.
So as far as the London session. Will
Kind of
be
close.
from 8 till 8 till
GMT, wouldn't it? Yeah.
right, so it's 8 till 4, but then so that's closed. Now you have the Asian session and also going into the Sydney session. There's 4 sessions. All right.
What's
so
the first one, like LA or something?
So I would say the first one, because we live in the UK, I would say the UK. So yes, which is like from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. But then you have the crossover from London to the New York, when New York is just like from say 12 p.m. That's the most volatility in the market, and that is to say when is most movement, when it's busy, when people really catch some pips, so to speak. You probably heard that term about pips, yeah?
Heard it somewhere. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so when there's most movement in the market, and then from the US market to the Asian market, which is overnight,
Yeah.
Right.
as well as the Sydney, yeah. So which is between the Asian and the Sydney is the slower time. The market's a lot slower. There's low volume, so it's best really for beginner traders because it's not moving as fast.
Okay, so the mistakes are less costly.
Well, as long as they're using proper risk management, because that also plays a part as well.
Okay.
You know.
Fair enough.
And another question I ask, like, what percentage of your income would you say would be good to use in trading when starting?
That's a good question. So
Actually,
Okay.
because my question will be related to his. A lot of people, I was speaking to someone recently, there's a lot of these funded trading accounts
Yes.
that people use.
Yeah.
So a lot of people wouldn't risk using their own income at all.
but they do have to qualify to
Yeah,
become
so there's trial periods and all that thing.
yes.
So based on obviously, here's my question. What would you say?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not a funded trader. That's something that I would aspire to at later on. However, for someone who's coming into trading as a complete beginner, wanting to become a self-sufficient trader, people think that you need £10,000 to start trading or £5,000 or whatever. You can start a trading account from just £100.
Okay.
But also understanding that
You're not going to make much with £100.
if you let me finish,
Sorry.
I will tell you
Sorry.
Patience. Patience is key,
you
isn't it?
see them already.
Patience.
You will understand that the more you put in is the more you have the potential to get out.
To win or lose, yeah.
Right? So somebody's because of course I have my mentees, right? That work with me. When they come in, I will always say to them, if you can start your account with £100, but we always advise you risk between 1 to 3% of your account. So you're not risking all of your capital.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So we will give them proper risk management in terms of their lot sizes. Their lot sizes is basically when the percentage of their account that they're risking. Yeah. So that way, you also, when we're talking about the psychology, when people risk too much of their account and they see a trade going against them, start to have a panic attack and sweats.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be having that if you only risk 1 to 3% of your account.
What my friend actually told me is you need to remove emotion from it.
Stoic
Yeah, I've got a
trading
friend-
versus emotional
I've
trading.
got a friend that I think he's into, not necessarily, but he's into it with crypto.
Right.
And he says you need to have your feelings out of it. Otherwise, you're gonna start making irrational choices. You're gonna panic.
You
and
remember
panic.
when I said about you can send yourself into deep, dark depression?
Yeah.
Okay. 100. And when I first had it said to me about having to remove my emotions away from my money, I'm like, what are you talking about? That's my money. How am I supposed to detach my emotions? How? How does that? But I understand
It's
now.
a very emotional thing, isn't it?
It's incredibly emotional, but you have to understand that I would never recommend for anybody to get into trading if you are not prepared to lose.
Yes.
You're going to have to lose. That's part of the learning process. But you can learn wisely in terms of managing your risk. Yeah.
I would sort of describe it as rational gambling in a way.
Oh, now. I used to call trading intelligent gambling. But remember, gambling is what? You're putting on a bet on a wing and a prayer. It's not really.
It's the basis. Yeah. Some people would who've, I guess, on a similar level, in a more junior level, let's say university, for example, they say, oh, I've got my sports trading betting group. I can give you signals. Who's going to win this game, these horses and all these things. But I think linking to what earlier, a lot of it can just be very speculative and just more taking the membership fees as opposed to having an actual understanding. But I guess with trading, it's a bit different because it's much more linked to global affairs rather than this player's come on.
Or this horse won the Grand National last year.
Yeah.
He's gonna win again.
The percentages are much harder to be reliable on. Yeah.
You know, so it's really understanding that I used to call it intelligent gambling until I come to understand that the markets moves in patterns. That is how the professionals are able to do the fundamental analysis and the technical analysis upon any given currency pair. Right? But even though it can be based on speculation and analysis and prediction, does it always go the way that we expect it to?
Yeah.
No.
Of course.
I understand. So one thing I would ask then is, just to bring out another case study.
Sure.
There was this thing that happened a couple years ago. It was with GameStop.
Yeah. I saw the film, Dumb Money.
Oh yeah, they made a film about that, didn't they? So obviously, for someone who's in that financial world, can you explain what happened with GameStop? Like what was going on?
So it was a penny stock that he invested in that company GameStop.
Right.
Right. Sorry, I need some water.
Sorry. Take your time.
And my understanding, he invested in it. It was a while ago, and he had like a YouTube channel or something like that, and he was telling everybody, yeah, you should invest into. So it's just like the market's about supply and demand, right? So as he's telling everybody, oh yeah, you invest in it. So as more, it's just where the more interest grew, the value goes up. So, but the people that are already in, think about the people that invested in Bitcoin when it was
Worthless.
like what, £200, 250.
Even then, when it was worthless, when they were giving it away for free.
Right?
2010, 2012.
It's the same concept. You got in early, it was cheap, supply and demand. Do you think you can buy one Bitcoin now?
Nah.
It's about 75K,
It's worth more than
isn't
gold.
it? It's digital gold now, isn't
So
it?
it's the same thing, supply and demand ultimately. When there's like more when the demand rises, it's like okay, the value goes up too. That's in a nutshell.
So does that happen a lot with in forex, insiders or insider involvement, or somebody having advanced knowledge? Is that a common thing in forex trading?
I guess there would always be some kind of insider knowledge for sure, because I believe that those that are the big wigs, and that have been doing this for a number of years, they know what impact whatever event is going to happen, so they know when to get in.
Mm.
For sure.
Okay.
Do you know, but the fact that there's the everyday Joe like me and you that can also get a slice of the pie, okay, you can still benefit.
It's
Right.
like,
Do you
why
understand?
not, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but and like we said, we do live in a digital age and information society, so information is readily available if you go looking for it.
Okay. Fair enough. So then I think I'll probably just ask you one or two last things just
Sure.
to wrap it up. To be fair.
Okay.
But I'll put on this first.
Sure.
Because I've never read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned 4 quadrants and you talked about the first 2.
Yeah.
And there's 2 more. How do you get into those last 2?
Okay. So on the right hand side, which I said first of all is being a business owner. So being a business owner, which I now am, is where you have leverage, where you have people working for you. You are you have that level of leverage, and you have you own a system. As a business owner, you have a system what works to make your business flow.
Yeah.
Okay. And becoming an investor, which the 1% are in, are those who are investing in crypto, those who are investing in forex. So how I pretty much fell into it, was having a need, wanting to learn to make passive income, residual income, having the desire. It presented itself, an opportunity presented itself, and I jumped in. And I didn't realize the magnificence of the opportunity that was opening to me.
Really? From investing?
Absolutely.
What kind of things do you invest in?
Absolutely. So crypto for sure.
Okay.
The say US 30 is one.
Or is that an index
That's
fund?
index.
Okay,
Yeah. So you've
alright.
got S&P 500,
Right.
gold.
Okay.
And as far as currency pair is the best, one of my favorites, I would say GBP, JPY. So Great British Pound to the Japanese yen.
Okay.
Right. So also learning that I can build a business while I can generate an income 24/7, which gives me time freedom, location freedom, and leading to financial freedom.
So nowadays, do you essentially just work on your own basis, but you're not tied to, I need these number of clients? Like, you still self-employed, or do you trade full time? What's your day-to-day now?
Yeah, so I'm not like, oh my God, I haven't got no clients, I ain't got no money. No. I wouldn't be doing this, but I said for the self-employment, what has happened with that now, that's become more a labor of love, because that's something that I'm genuinely passionate about.
It's a passion
Being a
project
mother,
now.
being a mother with an autistic child, and also seeing parents that have autistic children and not necessarily having access to the services, the support that they need. I offer that to them. As well as being able to trade on the financial markets, as well as being able to teach others to be able to trade on the financial markets.
And you're using your teaching expertise. Yeah, just as we end now, what do you used to teach?
English.
Oh, not surprisingly.
So literature and language.
Yes.
Did you enjoy that?
I really did, yeah.
Oh, the
I
stereotypes.
was a real nerd, actually.
Yeah,
Really?
you're very eloquent in your
Very
speech.
articulate.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would
Very
have
animated.
So are you.
I bet they would have loved you reading of Mice and Men and
Oh my gosh.
Sherlock Holmes and all of that. No,
And
I could-
Shakespeare.
Yeah. Do you know when the teacher used to read, used to pay attention?
I can now imagine as an
Just
English
the
teacher.
intonations in the voice.
Not when they made you read it yourself. He was like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it's like, hurry up! Oh God, I know, but
I remember year 7, year 8. Oh, miss, can you read for us? I remember They used to ask you, didn't they?
oh yeah. But I said, no, I want you to read. I want you to get involved. I will say one last thing about education. And one of the, is that your timer?
I don't know who's that.
Phone call.
Do you want to just off that real quick? We'll be done in a minute. But go on,
Yeah,
tell us the last thing.
The last thing about education that I will say is this. Education doesn't stop from school. That's number one. Number two, one of the reasons why I had to leave the education system is because school, as we know it, doesn't teach you financial literacy, doesn't teach you how to be a business owner, an entrepreneur. It trains you to be an employee. It trains you to pretty much be obedient, shut up and sit down, not necessarily teaching you in the way that you learn. So my ethos with the coaching is celebrating the brilliance in neurodiverse difference, because all of us in this room learn differently. So teaching somebody forex, you might learn one way, you might learn a different way, because we have kinesthetic learners, we have auditory learners, we have visual learners. Some of us have all of those learning styles integrated, So it's ultimately doing what works for you.
Fair enough.
So in conclusion, you say there's no uniform system to learning that they push?
No, this is why I'm allergic to classrooms.
Sorry about that.
Ironically,
Sorry about that.
as we sit in the university.
It's very,
No.
very
I
ironic
don't
coming
mean
from a
it like that.
teacher.
I mean in the sense of the traditional settings.
Of course.
Yeah.
But because everybody learns differently.
Yeah.
You'll have someone sitting at the desk and say, Johnny, pay attention. Johnny's not engaging because he's bored.
Yeah.
You might have some people that listen attentively to this podcast and some people that zone out because they don't have a visual. So do what works for you. Everything is not for everybody.
On that note, thank you very much, T. You've
You're
actually
very
opened
welcome.
us
one
quite
of
a
my
bit.
favorite episodes, of course.
For sure. Can't wait to have this one drop. But let's wrap up, guys. 'Cause-
Oh, you don't
you
want
very
them to know
much.
how they can connect with me or nothing like
Oh,
that?
right. Yeah. How do you want the guys to...
Yeah.
How do you
Where
want
should we
people
go?
to connect? How do people find you?
Okay, the best way for people to connect with me is on Instagram, which is I am D. Marie Elliott.
Okay, we'll make sure to have that in the description as well.
Sure.
Do you have a website or anything else?
But my Instagram, I have my link tree
Okay,
via my
Brilliant.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Alright.
We know how to find you.
No worries.
Amazing. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
me.
Much. All right.
It's a
Thank
pleasure.
You. No, do you know what was good? I can't lie.
Okay.
That was good.